Sea of Thieves right now is experiencing a lot of drama. All right, and the drama, to be honest with you, is I would say justified for the most part, right? But I also think they're going a little bit extreme in some cases as well. But to be fair, I don't know the level of supposed sweeping that the developers over at Sea of Thieves were actually doing for this guy. But we're going to read their statement. And obviously they turned off the comments because they don't want people talking about this, right? So what are we talking about? Well, apparently Sea of Thieves had somebody who was part of their like community. Because apparently you were able to get a special title that was granted to you. I think it was called Boatswains. It would be granted to you by the developers for being an upstanding part of the community, essentially. It doesn't mean that you work for them. It doesn't mean that you're on their payroll, to my knowledge, but it's just kind of like you're basically like a Super Saiyan for them or for the game or whatever. So anyway, so they had this special title that they would hand out to some people. And this particular title was given to somebody who decided to do something very bad, supposedly. Okay, these are allegations. This is not confirmed in any legal way. I'm sure there are, other things and whatnot. But apparently the person who was given this title was found out to be a very, very bad boy, okay? Doing very, very bad things with children, all right? To say it for the YouTube safe words, okay? So supposedly Rare and Sea of Thieves, they didn't comment on this, okay? They didn't comment on this for a little while. I don't know how long it was. I think it was a few weeks. I remember reading this story about a week ago, I believe. But I didn't cover it because I was waiting for them to make a response. Now that they finally made a response, that's when I'm actually going to cover it, and we'll go through all of it together. But people are not happy about this. This is going to be a situation where, honestly, nobody's going to win from this because the players are pissed already. You got people leaving negative reviews like crazy for this game. If you check here, I'm gonna scroll up. Where is it? Sea of Thieves. Look at this. Rare's employees are covering up pedophilic actions and bad actors in their community. I cannot in good faith recommend this game, while community managers, creators, and Rare employees are allowing and defending actions that harm its younger user base. And there's a lot of these like this, right? There's a lot of these like this. Sea of PDF. Oh, shit. Who knows? There's probably more PDF on the seas. They probably got Epstein Island in this game, too. Right? So people are mad. And again, even though the person does not technically work for the company, because they're a community head and a community figure, well, the company's now getting the blame for it. Which, again, I don't know if that's necessarily fair. But I understand that people feel like the company took way too long to respond to this situation. So let's read their response. First and foremost, it says, reiterating our community values, taking a moment to reaffirm our values. I can't stand this. Okay, you guys know this. I can't stand it. There is no company that has values. All right, there is no major corporation that has values. If you want to talk about small little mom and pop shops that are independently owned, perhaps we could talk about that. But when you're talking about major corporations that are public companies that have shareholders and whatnot, stop trying to convince the normie people that you have fucking values, okay? No company out there has values. The only value they have is the value of the dollar and how much they can attain that dollar while convincing you that they care about you. No, like, stop it. Like, but anyway, this is what they led with, and this was posted on the Community Spotlight on May 14th, okay? So it was posted a couple days ago. At Rare, we have a responsibility to look after both the communities we support and our staff. We are committed to protecting people from harassment, abuse, and harm. The recent allegations we've seen surface online are deeply concerning and do not align with our values. Why would they align with your values? If somebody's diddling kids, do we really need you to tell us that this doesn't align with your values? Like, oh, thanks. So thank God we have that clarification. Like, what the? Like, as if a company would come out and be like, yeah, this totally aligns with our values, bro. Yeah, we sponsor P. Diddy. Like, what the fuck? Like, anyway, so it says, we know it can be difficult to report harassment or abuse, and we want those who come forward to feel heard and supported. Every report is treated confidentially, and we do not discuss specific incidents or actions publicly. We assess all reports carefully, and where allegations are supported, we act quickly and escalate through the appropriate channels, including platform owners and law enforcement where necessary. So basically, what's happening here is we have another Roblox situation where a company, again, it's not an actual employee, so I get that part of it. However, this is a person that was propped up by the company. They were propped up by the company. They were put front and center. You know, they were in charge of the community some way, shape, or form. So even though they weren't an employee, they still had a lot of access to the community as a whole. And they took advantage of that. Unfortunately, they took advantage of that. So now they kind of got felted because of this person. Now we got a Roblox situation where now they got to convince everybody that that this was a one-time situation, that we're doing what we can to make sure everybody's safe and blah, blah, all this shit, right? But this is going to lose so much goodwill for this game, it's not even funny. Now, whether it actually affects the game, I don't know about that, because look at Roblox, right? Roblox is the biggest game in the world, and people swear that they all hate Roblox. You got all these parents that swear they hate Roblox, and that they find Roblox to be disgusting, and that, they don't understand why parents, whatever, and then they let their kids play Roblox. The fuck? So anyway, every report's treated confidentially. Games, communities, and online spaces are always evolving, and so were our policies, processes, and programs to ensure the ongoing security and safety of our players. In areas where we need more nuance and scrutiny moving forward, internal investigations will be undertaken to identify where improvements can and should be made. I gotta be real with you. I don't think that they're gonna do any of this. I think this is all talk. Just like I think that Roblox was all talk until they eventually got sued into oblivion, where they had to make it real. But at this point, I don't think that this company is going to do anything about this. I think that they're hoping this was a one and done. So they're going to just say all these things. They're going to promise the world. But I don't think they're actually going to follow through any of this. Because these companies believe that they're not a breeding ground for this stuff. And if it starts to become known that it could be, then they'll probably do something. Though we will not be sharing outcomes from any investigations publicly, players may recognize some of the changes that are made in the future. Now, let's check out what they did. So, because of the difficult environment this has created for other Boatswains, we have decided to retire the role with immediate effect. So they're retiring the title. So now, because of one person, that one person fucked it up for everybody else who was potentially legit. Because now everybody's going to be looking at Boatswains, anybody who has a title like that, and they're just, like, if they want to troll, they're just going to call them PDFs. Flat out. Be like, oh, look, you're a Boatswain just like the other guy? You like kids too? Like, people are stupid. People are stupid online. So the company wants to just kind of cut all ties, and they don't want to go through this again. So, in my opinion, like I said, they're doing damage control, and they're hoping this is a one and done. And that's basically it, right? So, they're retiring the title, and they decided that they're going to retire the role with immediate effect. We'll be taking some time to review and tighten up the processes around how we onboard and evaluate members of all our community programs, and we'll be making wider community-facing changes in the future. We have a duty to care for and protect our community and our team against personal harassment, abuse, and other behaviors which may endanger their well-being. Our policy is to disengage from conversation with anyone who chooses to take that approach during discussions. We encourage anyone who experiences or witness behavior that breaches our code of conduct to report it to our customer support team so that it can be reviewed and acted on. Finally, thank you to our players for their continued support and engagement with Sea of Thieves. We're committed to working with you to ensure both the game and the community is at its best that it can be. Now, again, the situation is only going to continue to get worse. The reviews are starting to pile in over on Steam. They're still positive for the most part, but they are starting to come in. Not only that, I'm sure if I were to look at the Sea of Thieves account, because that particular post is turned off, I'm sure if we look at one of their recent posts, let's see, are they getting felted or are people leaving it alone? Let's see. Did Sea of Thieves just pull a Donald Trump and drop more bad news to avoid talking about other bad news? That's literally the first comment. If the community managers were removed, maybe the negative feedback could have reached you. Stop protecting PDFs. Wow. Yeah, this is going to be bad. This is going to be bad. It's fine. We get it. Censoring Tavern takes a lot of resources from the team, so they need more time for other stuff. I think you have other things to worry about right now. Maybe start with the current CM and Bruno situation. An official statement on that regard is far more needed than any game update. Your current standing on socials is horrendous, and your Discord is a dumpster fire. Missed the mark yet again, guys. Yeah, clearly, this is not going to go anywhere. This is going to continue to get worse and worse. Every single comment. Look, hurry up, Rare. This isn't a good look. Nor is silently defending your community managers and Bruno a good look either. This is going to continue to get worse and worse. I don't know if this statement actually did anything positive. I think they might have waited too long. I think at this point, they're pretty fucking cooked. This fucking company canceled an entire season, and the one new piece of content still gets delayed. I hope more people clown on you. Waiting 2 days before the release of LSS to announce is such a great way to piss off people. Good job. They're not even happy with the content. How is this game doing, by the way? Let me see. Sea of Thieves. Last I checked, this game was growing little by little, but is it really getting felted like this? Hold on. Oh, no, it is going down. Wow. Okay, it is going down. Wow. All right, well, that's a thing. Take one more week to make sure no one talks about the child groomer you gave position of power to. Bro. Hypno, those tweets are dated before Rare statement. Yes, I know that. The reason why I'm looking at these is because you can't make a comment on their statement. So I'm trying to see what people were saying up until that statement. And I'm sure if they were to post something again, did they post something again after the statement? I don't think they did. This is March. No, they didn't. Yeah. This is the last thing they posted. And then they turned off the comments. So you have to go back, find the latest, the second latest post to see what people are saying or see what people were saying. We just read that one. My fault for getting excited over something. Was the first thing I was looking forward to in months. Was the Subnautica 2 release date that intimidating? Holy shit. Let me see. Got to be one of the worst dev teams, top to bottom. You guys can't do shit. You're all like students learning for the first time, but it's been 8 years. Let me see. What else? I think that's basically it from what I could see. Would you rather a polished, clear, breaking bugs even than to get to take early, take your time, and make it rad? Yeah. Okay. This is all I could find on the bad stuff situation. So again, at this point, guys, I don't know if this is going to kill the game or anything necessarily. I think that, considering that they've retired the role, and actually, fun fact, what do you notice about this? What do you notice about this statement? They're not telling you what they did with the person. They're not telling you whether they got rid of them from the community. I mean, obviously they retired the role, but does that mean that they got rid of them all from the community? Did they stop all community programs? Probably, right? They said they're going to reevaluate, how they onboard, and they're going to reevaluate members of the community programs, but they didn't necessarily get rid of anybody yet. Outside of the person who probably did the bad stuff, I don't think anybody else, you know what I mean? So, but they're not really saying that. They're being very vague about it, which is why people are probably pissed about it. So, they could say they have a duty to care and protect and all that nonsense. It's typical corporate shit. But realistically, you really didn't say much here. Other than we promise to do better, but we're not going to tell you the outcome of any of our investigations. We're not going to tell you the outcome of anything we decide to do. Which is basically just leaving people in the dark. So, I don't know, man. Interesting statement. People are also... I saw some people accusing them of using AI to make this statement as well. I don't agree with that. I just think that this is typical corporate PR speak. It's so crazy that AI is so prevalent now that people think corporate speak is AI, but it doesn't matter. Whether they did or didn't, it doesn't matter. Like, the statement in and of itself is not that great. If they say that, then it makes them look guilty. But it makes them look guilty of what, though? You know what I mean? Like, what does that make them look guilty of? Like, I'm just trying to be fair here, because you can hire people, but you never know who you're hiring. You could do all the fucking background checks and everything, but if someone does something bad, it's like that they knew but how would that prove that they knew that the guy was doing PDF stuff? Like, okay, I'll say this because I don't know the full details. Does anybody know if he was doing the bad stuff on the platform or was he doing it off the platform and he got caught and somebody told Rare about it? Does anybody know that? Because I couldn't find any details about that. What the fuck did you just join in on? Bro, it's crazy, man. Sea of Thieves is going through some nonsense right now. I'll say this, if he was doing it on their platform, which he probably was, then that is bad, right? That is bad. Not that they were monitoring everybody, but still, that is pretty bad. It makes them look worse. It's like that Nickelodeon story. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Could be worse. Your cat could have vomited on your computer keyboard. Oh, no. Does that just happen to you right now? I'm sorry. Some people knew. Some people knew. Oh, some people in the community knew. Dude, I'm sure. Listen, I'll follow up on this story. I got to get more information on this story. I feel like I only know the surface level of this. But again, I didn't want to comment on it until I had a statement from them to see what they would say, so we could kind of get a little bit more of a picture here. But I feel like with situations like this, it's only a matter of time before they come out with more stuff. So I'm sure we're gonna find out more information at some point. And if I get any update, I'll definitely let you guys know. But until then, this is all I got for right now. So pretty wild story. Wild story.